Good morning. So we're going to begin in a few minutes. So if you don't have your props handy, go ahead and find your props and bring them alongside your mat so that you have them ready if you should need them. So today we're going to just start in a seated position. So you might want to just begin coming into the mat if you're all ready and prepared. And just we'll wait another moment, another minute to begin. So we're going to start in a seated position. If you're not already there, just find yourself coming into the middle of your mat with your legs crossed. If you need to sit on your block, you can sit on your block, or if you have a blanket, you can actually sit on the blanket to help elevate your hips, lifting your butt slightly up and helping the hips open up, letting the knees soften out to the side. And just make sure you feel comfortable, so you might want to just rock side to side, just removing the flesh from your buttocks. And sit up nice and tall, feeling the connection to your mat, grounding through your sits bones. Draw your belly into the back of the spine and feel a little bit of a slight tilt. So you want to try to avoid arching the lower back. So really draw the navel in and feel a little bit more of a pelvic tilt here to maintain that straight spine. Let the palms come to rest gently onto your knees and then let your eyes close. So we're going to just begin by coming into this cross-legged position with the eyes closed, allowing ourselves to come into our awareness, our focus of just being present here on the mat, not worrying about what's going to happen next, what poses we're going to be coming into, but just trying to remain present with our breath. So allow the mouth to remain closed and keep your chin level with your mat, and keeping the crown of your head extended towards the ceiling. Feel your shoulders really relaxing down away from the ears, so take any tension out from the neck and shoulders. And drawing that navel in, slight tilt in the pelvis. And finding your Ujjayi breath. Let the breath just slowly and gently flow in and out through the back of your throat. So you want to maintain the lips staying closed, but you're feeling the breath traveling in through the nostrils, but actually guiding it through the back of your throat. So our Ujjayi breath is the breath you want to continue to stay with throughout the practice. And if you find it challenging, don't worry. With practice, it'll become a little easier. And you won't even have to think about it. You'll just be automatically using that correct breath. So from here, continuing to sit up tall with the eyes closed, take an inhale. And as you exhale, lower your chin to the chest. So just let the back of your neck get a nice deep stretch. Really feel the head heavy as it hangs, but try not to round the back. So you're still maintaining that navel pulling in, slight tilt in the pelvis to prevent the arch in the back. So this in itself may be a little challenging just to keep that spine straight. Slowly return your chin back level with the mat. Let the eyes remain closed. Taking an inhale, you want to keep the shoulders down away from the ears. As you exhale, let's rotate that left ear over to the left shoulder, drawing your right shoulder down to the mat. Just let the heaviness of the head move over to that shoulder as you stretch into the right side of your neck. Inhale, up center, and then on your exhale, take it over to the right now. Make sure that you're not dropping your chin down into your chest. So you're just nice little lateral stretch here with the head and feeling your left shoulder pulling down so that you feel that stretch coming into the left side of your neck. Inhale, bring the head back up center and stay here. We're just going to extend the left arm, extend it out to the side, stay bridged up onto the fingertips. And from here, take an inhale, and on your exhale, we're going to let the left shoulder come back down over to the left side and reach and stretch that left hand out as you take a little bit of a side bend. So your head is coming with you. You're stretching now into the right side of the body, letting the head hang towards that left shoulder. And stay on the tips of your fingers. Feel control in that lower back, making sure your belly is pulling in. And then come up to center. Inhale, sliding the hand back and returning it onto your left knee. And then right hand extends out. Bridge up onto the fingertips. Nice long spine. Inhale. And as you exhale, just stretch those fingers out. And taking that right shoulder down, that right ear down to the right shoulder. So you're going to stretch into the left side of the neck as well as stretching into the left side of your body, pulling that left hip away from the rib cage. So let the head hang. You'll feel a little more intense stretch through the neck. Come back up to center, returning your right hand back onto your right knee, and then allow the eyes to open. And let's bring both arms all the way up. Inhale. Exhale, take the arms out to the side and turn your palms up to face the ceiling. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Continue to hold your belly in. And then we're going to take the hands and turn them to face the wall behind you. Turn your palms up to the ceiling and rotate to the wall behind you. And again, up to the ceiling and to the wall behind you. And one more time, take it up and to the wall behind you. Raising both palms all the way up towards the ceiling, lifting the arms, holding onto your right wrist. Turn the palm so the palm faces up. The palm of your right hand is pushing up. The belly is pulling in and stretching, just taking it over a little bit to the left. Try not to round through the back, so you want to maintain that nice lateral stretch. Come back to center, switching hands, holding to your left wrist. Press that left palm up as if you're stamping the hand to the ceiling. Inhale, pulling your belly in. Exhale, nice stretch over to the right side, drawing the left hip down. And come back up to center. Inhale. Exhale, let's take both hands back down onto your knees. Let your eyes close. Take a moment to notice where you feel any increased energy that may be moving through the body, maybe more in your elbow, your shoulders, or your arms, your wrists. And then allow your eyes to slowly open. And we're going to extend the arms forward. So as your palms face forward, we're going to raise the arms all the way up. Inhale, you're going to turn the palms out. Exhale, bring them down. Lift the arms all the way up. Inhale. And allowing them to come forward again, keeping the shoulders down. Both arms lift, open out to the side, lower the arms all the way down. Inhale, turning the palms, lift the arms up, keeping the palms facing each other, lower shoulder height, and lift up. Open the arms out to the side, and raising the arms up again, stretching up, and extend the arms forward. So as your palms come forward, we're going to cross the right wrist over the left. You're going to turn so that your palms face each other and interlace your fingers. Keep pulling the shoulders away from the ears. Navel is drawn into the back of the spine. You're going to bend your elbows as you take those knuckles in towards your chest and see how far you can stretch the knuckles forward. And then fold it back in. And again, pulling in, extending forward. And folding it back in. And one more time, come in, keep those fingers interlaced, or try to keep a fist, do the best you can. Maybe your elbows stay bent, but if you can, straighten them. Releasing again, and now we're going to switch to the other side, so your palms are facing each other. You're going to cross your left wrist over the right, and then turn your palms to face each other, and make a fist here with your fingers. And we're going to bend the elbows, drawing the knuckles into the chest, and extending forward. So each side will be a little different. Maybe they'll find that they're very similar, but just continue as you pull in, extending, and then pulling back. Doing this nice and slow just to notice the stretch wherever you're feeling it in your arms, your wrists, and finishing up. Once you do, you're going to allow the knuckles to come forward and bring both hands down onto your mat. Come right into your tabletop position. Bring your knees under your hips. And we're going to turn so that the fingers are facing towards your knees. So do the best you can. You might notice that your hands really have difficulty turning all the way in towards the knees. So try to spin them out as best you can, rotating them more so that the fingers are spread wide. Your shoulders are over the wrists. Your knees are hip distance apart. You're going to curl your toes, and you're just going to try to take your tailbone down towards the heels, but not lifting the heels of your hands off the floor. So you're feeling the stretch coming into the wrist area. And then slowly rock forward, and then rock it back, nice and slow. So you're going to just take this nice little momentum, rocking forward and back, just to where you can feel that stretch in through the wrists. So we want to get some of the areas that really tighten up on us. And let's come forward. We're going to let the toes go flat, and you're going to bring your palms so that they're under your shoulders with your fingers facing now forward to the front of your mat. And spread your fingers wide. Coming into a tabletop position, pull the shoulders away from the ears. And we're going to round the spine now. So we're going to come into our cat and cow. So we're going to tilt the tailbone up first. Rounding the spine will come next in our cat. So coming into cow, curl your toes. Let the tailbone tilt. Push the chest forward and raise your head. Then let your toes go flat, pull your navel in and start to round the back. And then once you can't round the back anymore, then let your chin release in towards your chest. And curl your toes, allow the tailbone to lift. And then slowly taking the head. So the head is the last to move. Toes go flat, rounding through the lower back, pulling the belly in. And then lastly, taking the chin to chest. Do this on your own a few more times. And really flow with your breath. So if you're doing it too quickly, slow it down a little bit so that you really experience the space and the stretch as it opens through the back, through the shoulders. And we're going to finish in our cat pose. So once you round your back, keep your chin into the chest. Return to a neutral spine. And keeping the right leg, the right knee on the mat, let's lift the left leg back and draw the left hip down to the floor. Let your toes point on the left foot and flex and point and flex, point and flex. And make a circle with your left foot from the ankle. Try not to get the leg involved. And then take it around, go the other direction. And then bring your left knee back down under your hip, extending the right leg back. So draw the right hip down so you don't want to open it out to the side. Stretch that leg back with a point and a flex, point and flex, point and flex. And circle the foot from the ankle one way. And then rotate your circle the opposite direction. And lower the knee back down underneath the hip. Extending the left leg back again. As you let that left leg extend, keep that left hip down, facing towards the floor. Pull your belly into the back of the spine and feel a sense of lifting away from your mat, raising your right arm alongside your right ear. So keep stretching that right arm forward. You should be looking more down to the front of your mat rather than up. So you don't want to crunch into the back of your neck. So you want that neck to remain long, stretching up. Hold here. And let's bend that left leg. See if we can take a reach back with the right hand holding the top of the foot. If that's not available to you, you can always find a strap or a tie to help wrap around the ankle, and you can hold onto that tie or strap, and you can lift yourself up. If you don't have that available, just maybe bend the leg, and you can keep the right arm extended. And then you're going to release if you have the top of your foot. And then lower the knee back down, release your right hand under the shoulder, and your knee comes back under your left hip. Other side, taking the right leg back, making sure that you're pulling out from the mat, square that right hip to the floor, and then we're going to bend the leg, flex the foot, press the heel towards your left buttock. And if you feel ready on the left side, lifting the left arm, raise it up, reaching back. See if you can find the top of your foot. And again, if it's not available, just hold in this position first. And just find your balance. Feel a little sense of lifting out of that right hand. And then taking that foot extended back, right or left arm goes forward and place it down. Knee comes down under your hip, and we'll take a rest here for child's pose. Bring your big toes together and take your knees a little bit wider, and not drawing your forehead down, but pushing your hips back. So you want to really let your hips press down towards the buttocks, press down towards the heels, and just walk your hands a little further forward. If you can't bring your head all the way down and you have your block, let your head rest there. But if you can get your head on the floor, then it's better to have the head down. It gives you a little bit deeper stretch as you continue to stretch through the fingers. So only if you feel that you can't let your hips come down to the heels, if your head is more forward, you can move your hips back a little bit more and let the forehead rest. And keep your arms extended. Feel the shoulders pulling back away from the ear. And then from here, take the arms and bring them alongside your legs so that your palms are turned up next to your feet, and now your shoulders are relaxing. Pull your belly in. So as you pull your belly in, we're going to see if we can roll ourselves up. So it requires a little bit of abdominal strength. So you're going to tuck your tail under, roll yourself up, keep your chin into the chest, and roll all the way up. And then we're going to bring our knees together. Slide your hands forward, come back into tabletop, but your fingers a little further than towards there. Your fingers are a little more to the front of your mat and not directly under the shoulders. Just lifting up, we're going to end up coming into a down dog and coming to the top of the mat. So once you're on your knees, curl your toes, tilt your tail, lift your knees, and take your hips up. Drop your head and press through your heels. Really feel a stretch, maybe pedaling it out just to feel a stretch coming into the calves and stretching in through the ankles, which we already opened. And then look forward and slowly walk your feet as they come all the way to the very top of your mat. Let the big toes touch. And then from here, slide your hands up the shins, lengthen your spine. Inhale, fold as you exhale. We're going to bend the knees slightly, bring the arms out in T, and come all the way up. Lift your arms up, bring your palms together, and then slowly take the thumbs as they come to the center of your heart. And just hold here, allowing the palms to stay pressed, thumbs into the chest, shoulders down away from the ears, tailbone tucks under. And you can allow the eyes to stay open or close them, whatever feels right at this moment. Make sure that you're feeling that Ujjayi breath still traveling in through the back of your throat. And slowly let your eyes open. So we're going to end up coming back down and coming into some lunges. So let's take the arms up. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Bend your knees if you need to, stepping your left leg back. So once you get that left leg to go all the way back, let the left knee come to the floor. And you're going to come up onto that right side with both hands and just lift up, stand on top of that left knee, but then slide the hips forward so that you're not putting pressure on your left kneecap. So you don't want to be standing and putting pressure on your left knee. You want that left hip to slightly move forward so that you're feeling a little bit more of the stretch in through the left hip flexor. And keep your shoulders down. You can always take your arms up if you feel strong enough to lift the arms and keep them there. Otherwise, just let the hands remain on top of your right thigh. And breathe. So you shouldn't feel any tension coming into, any pressure coming into that left knee. You can always put a small towel under that left knee if you feel that you need to. But we want to feel the stretch opening in through that left hip flexor. And now bring both hands down on either side of your right foot. We're going to take it into a twist. So we're going to bring the block close to the right big toe, or whichever level of the block will help lift your chest. And then extend your arm forward, rotate the chest to the right, and reach your fingers up to the ceiling. So keep pulling your right knee in towards the midline of your body. If you rotate upward and your right shoulder doesn't stack over the left, it's not going to be able to go up. So if your chest is more down to that right thigh, your arm will be extending to the side, and that's not what we want. We want to really turn the chest open. So if you have the higher point of the block, that might help you to really pull the right hip back, opening up the right chest and reaching up. So with practice, you might gain the flexibility so that you can come down to the floor eventually, but you want that right arm to go up, straight from the shoulder. Return the hand down to the mat on the pinky side of the toe of the foot and release your block. We're going to curl the left toes and we're going to allow that left knee to lift as the left foot comes forward to meet the right. So switching it out now, the right foot is going to go back into our lunge position. So you can step it back or slide it back and keep wiggling back until you find that you can't go any lower. You want to be in a lunge here now. Let the knee come down to the floor. Toes go flat and your left knee should be right over the ankle. So when you step back, you want to make sure that you took your right leg far enough so that your knee on the left side is not over the toes. So just get that foot to wiggle a little further, keeping a 90-degree angle. Hands are going to come onto the left thigh, and you're going to come up and just stand on that knee. Find that space here where you're pushing your right hip and left hip away from the rib cage, and then let the hips guide your hips forward, tuck your tail under, and try to let the chest open. So you want to really feel a little bit of the pelvic tilt to prevent the lower back from arching. And you always have the option of bringing your arms up, reaching and extending. Breathing here. And placing something under your knee for support if you feel any tension on your kneecap there. We'll hold one more breath. And then we're going to lower the hands down, finding your block. Whatever angle helps you open up the left chest. So you're going to maybe take it to its highest point. You're going to sweep the left arm forward, rotate the chest. As you're doing that, make sure your left knee doesn't open out to the side. You want to pull it in, and you want to feel that you're pulling the left hip towards the back of the room. And breathe. Reaching the left arm up, making sure it stays stacked. The left shoulder stays stacked over the right shoulder. And breathe. Look up towards that left thumb. Keep pulling the navel into the spine. And let's take that left hand, bring it back down to the mat. And once you do, we're going to curl the back toes. Remove your block, curling your back toes, lifting the knee. Take the right foot to meet the left. Coming into a forward fold, so sliding your hands up the shins, get length through your spine. Inhale, fold on your exhale. So we're going to hold in our forward bend to stretch into the hamstring. So you want to try to get your legs to go as straight as possible, not bending the knee. So you might not be able to touch the floor. You might have to have your hands on your shins and try to get your hips to come right over the ankles. So you don't want to shift your butt back. You want to come more forward, pulling your belly in, tuck your tail under, and pull the shoulders away from the ears. The heels of your hands can come below your kneecaps. Try not to press into the kneecaps. And then from here, your hinge is from your hips to fold down. So when you fold down, your hands will just come down naturally as your body folds. So try not to reach your hands towards your ankles. Keep the shoulders pulled back. Feel that stretch into the back of your legs. Inhale, arms extend. Slowly hinge from your hips as you keep that belly in to protect your back. Raising both arms up. Bring the hands to prayer, lowering them to the center of your heart once again. And hold here. So holding in our mountain pose with the hands pressed together. Feel your hips rotating outward. All four corners of your feet are grounded. The arches are slightly lifted. Just stay present. Link with your breath. And allow your eyes to open. Then take the arms, extending them all the way up to the ceiling, stretching up, taking a big step back with our right foot. So when you take your step back, you want to go as far back as you can And you're going to turn your hips towards the right foot angles slightly, turning towards the long edge of your mat with your left heel in alignment with the right foot. Bring both arms in T and keep those hips facing to the longer edge of your mat. We're going to take it into our triangle pose. So you're going to engage the left quadricep. Make sure your left toes are facing the front of your mat, the small edge of your mat, not the left corner or the right corner. So you don't want to turn the foot to the angle. You want to keep it completely facing that small edge of your mat. And we're going to pull that left quad in, pulling into the left hip. You want to feel your right hip pressing towards the back of your mat. Reach and extend with the left hand. Bring the left hand down towards your shin. Place your right hand onto your right hip. Tuck your tailbone under so your tailbone is pressing down towards your right heel. Roll the right shoulder open so that you try and get that right shoulder to stack over the left. So the same when we were in that lunge position, the right arm will lift up and come up. If your chest is more facing to the floor, you won't be able to lift your arm straight up. So work on the rotation, opening the right rib cage up a little more, pulling your navel in, tucking the tailbone under, roll open the shoulder. So keep the right hand maybe on your hip until you really get that right shoulder to stack over the left. Then the arm will go up automatically. Don't worry about the arm. Be more concerned about keeping the shoulders so that you get that stretch here through your triangle. The left quadricep is pulling into the hip, and length comes into the left side of the body. Look down at your left big toe, and let's bring ourselves up into a T position. Bend your left leg at the knee. Bring your right hand towards your left. Rotate onto the ball of your right foot. And let's lower the right knee back down onto the mat. So once the knee comes down, flatten the toes. Bring both hands onto your left thigh, pressing back into this lunge position. And from here, you're going to press through that right hip, take the arms out to the side, and bring your hands behind you. Interlace your fingers, stretch your knuckles down to the mat, and pull the knuckles away from your buttock. Tuck your pelvis under and open your chest. So we're not only in a lunge, but we're also stretching and opening through the chest area, squeezing the shoulder blades together. And then from here, you're gazing slightly up. You're pulling the shoulders away from the ears, trying to lift your knuckles away from your buttock. And you're using your Ogia Breath. Let both arms come all the way up. Inhale. Both hands come down on either side of your left foot. Curl your back toes, lift the knee, and take your right foot forward. Come into a forward fold. So then first slide the hands up. Inhale, long spine. Hinge from the hips as you exhale. So the hands just slide down, keeping the shoulders pull back. Both arms come out to the side, lifting up, stretching all the way up, and return your hands back into prayer. And breathe here. So we're going to be doing the other side. So I'm going to just go to the back of the mat so you'll be able to see it instead of seeing the back of me. So I'm going to come to the back of my mat. You stay at the front of your mat, bring both arms all the way up, or you can come to the back of your mat so you can see the position. Left leg is going to go back. You're going to turn the hips towards the long side of your mat, opening the arms out in T position. So your right foot is facing the small edge of the mat. Your right heel is lined up with the instep of your left foot. You're going to engage that right quadricep, so pull it in, tighten that quadricep, pull that right thigh into your hip, and reach out with your right hand. Stretch it out as far as you can. Bring the hand towards your shin, left hand to your left hip. Roll the shoulder back, pull the navel into the spine, tuck that tailbone, the pelvis under, and let your tailbone press down towards the left heel. Left shoulder should stack over the right, and if it does, then the arm will freely go up and extend. So if your shoulder is not over in alignment over that right shoulder, the arm will come more towards the corner of the room, and you also want to make sure that you're pulling your butt under. And look down at your right big toe, and let's come back up. Pulling your belly in, come back, arms in T position. And we're going to bend the right leg, turning into a twist, into a lunge. So coming back into your lunge, lower the left knee down. So once you're there, flatten the toes. Make sure your right knee is over your ankle and sweep your arms back behind you. Stretch your knuckles down towards the mat, pull away from your butt, tuck your tail under. Then just let the chest lift. Keep stretching the knuckles away from your buttocks. Feel the squeeze through the shoulders. Open through your chest. Gaze is up towards where the wall and the ceiling meet. And breathe. So keep feeling a tilt in your pelvis. You want to tuck under rather than arching that back. And from here, release both arms all the way up. And take both hands down on either side of your right foot. You're going to curl your back toes, lifting your knee. Bring your left foot to meet the right. And come all the way up. Arms come out to the side. And lift up. Stretch up, palms come together, and bring your hands into prayer. And you can find yourself back at the front of your mat if you change sides. So you want to come to be facing forward to the front of your mat. And just hold in your mountain pose a few breaths here. And let's slowly allow the eyes to open. Bring both arms all the way up. We're going to fold forward. As we come forward, we're going to put a slight bend in the knees and let your knees bend a little bit more as you feel your chest coming on contact with your thighs. So bend as deep as you can go. Get your tailbone to press to the wall behind you. So you want to try to avoid the butt being up to the ceiling. So really bend through the knees. And pull your shoulders back, pull the hips back, stretch your arms back behind you. And then we're going to peel the chest off the thighs as we come into chair pose. Reach the arms up. If it's a little too intense on your shoulders, because we do want the chest to open, so squeeze those shoulder blades. Keep the arms straight up. If you can't keep them straight up by your ears, lower them down and just pull your shoulders back and keep trying to raise them up. So you don't want to have bent elbows, so find straight arms. Even if you open the arms out to the side, but you want to really feel that your chest is pushing forward and your shoulder blades are drawing back. Stand straight up, inhale. Exhale, release, take the arms all the way down and bring your hands to prayer and hold here. So as you increase that energy, you want to make sure that you're still flowing with your breath, keeping the energy that's moving through your body flowing smoothly, and you're not feeling that you're overwhelmed and allowing that energy to kind of almost make you feel that you're going to hyperventilate. So really control your breath. And slowly allow your eyes to open. Going to release the arms all the way down, taking a balance now. So we're going to open the legs about hip distance apart. And we know that about hip distance apart would be about the size of one of your feet. So make sure you could imagine that one of your feet is in between both of your feet. So you can just find that space about 6 to 7 inches apart. And we're going to raise up the heel. So pull your belly in. Inhale, raising the heels as the arms lift. So you're going to come right onto the balls of your feet. Breathe here. Pull your belly in and stretch through the fingers. So just balancing on both feet can be a challenge for some of us. Sometimes balancing on both feet can even be harder than just balancing on one leg. So, balancing on both feet by lifting up can be more challenging than just balancing on one leg. So lift up, and then as you're stretching up, open the arms out to the side. Turn your palms to face down. Relax your shoulders. Keep those heels lifted a little higher. Turn your palms up. Reach the arms back up. Pressing towards the palms, pressing towards each other. Tuck your tail under. Keep those heels lifted. And again, open the arms out, palms face down, shoulders relaxed. Make sure your tailbone is pressing towards the mat, belly in. Keep those heels lifted up even a little higher. Lower the arms slowly down as you allow the heels to lower. So you want your palms to come to touch your legs when your heels touch the mat. And then bring the arms all the way up. Inhale. Exhale and fold forward. Once you come down, we're going to bring the feet a little closer together. We're going to take it back into that chair pose again. So you're going to bend your legs at the knees, press the tailbone to the back of the room, and then allow the tailbone to go down towards the mat. Get your chest onto your thighs, stretch your arms back, feel your chest off your thighs as you return back into chair. Let the shoulders pull down, tuck your tail under. So this can be a little challenging here. We're getting strength through the quadriceps, working those quadricep muscles, getting them strengthened. Stretch up, look up. One more inhale. Exhale, and on your next inhale, stand straight up. Exhale, and slowly release the arms down. We're going to just take a little stretch into the quadriceps while we also take a little balance. So open your legs a little wider. We're going to balance onto the right foot. So allow the right toes to spread wide and press down into the ball mound of your toes. Let the toes flatten down without gripping the mat. Feel that arch lifting away, feeling lightness in your right leg, pulling away from the mat, lifting that right hip. You're going to take your left foot and just lift it off the floor. Bring your left inner thigh to your right leg. If you're able to reach back, hold on to the top of your left foot. If you do have a belt or a tie, you can wrap it around the foot and maybe hold it, trying to pull it in. If you're not able to hold on to the foot and you don't have any other props, just try to keep pulling the heel into your buttock. Try to keep your left knee facing down towards the floor. So either one hand or both hands maybe can come on top of your foot to stretch out that left quadricep. And slowly bring it down. Take the right foot and just kind of shake it out a little bit if you feel any tension there. I'm going to switch sides now, so you're going to bring the weight over into the left leg. Press down into the ball mound of your left foot. Spread the toes. Place the toes down without gripping the mat. Feel a lift out of the arch, lengthening, getting space through that left leg, left hip, releasing the right foot and pulling the heel into the buttock. So get your right knee to face down. You don't want the knee to be facing towards the wall in front of you. So pull your knee towards the floor. If you have the ability to reach back with your right hand, you want to pull the heel in towards the butt. And maybe the other hand can come on top as well. So everybody's balance will be different. Just try to do the best you can. It's natural to fall out, but you want to try not to get discouraged and continue to work on balance, because practice will allow you to balance a little better more and more as you continue through your journey. And let's release that foot. And if the left leg feels a little stiff, you can rotate the foot, shake it out, and both feet flat to the mat. Back into a forward bend. Lift the arms up. Inhale. Exhale, fold down. Plant the hands to the mat, step the legs back, and then come right into tabletop position. Cross your legs behind you and come to sit down onto your buttocks. So if you need to sit on your block, bring your block with you. Sit down on your block. Make sure those legs are crossed so that you're allowing your hips to open. So sit up tall. Let the knees fall out to the side. And just let your shoulders relax. Sit up nice and tall. Feel a tilt, the tuck. You want to tuck under a little bit, so pull the belly in. And then from here, let's take a twist. Bring both arms all the way up. Inhale, twisting to the right. Exhale. Let the left hand find the right knee, and the right hand comes behind you. Place it down onto the mat, close to your tailbone. Open your chest, so rotate the chest open. Pull the shoulders away from the ears. Just bring your chin with you, but don't force your chin to push towards the right shoulder. Getting a nice squeeze into your internal organ. And just let your eyes close while you're here. See in your mind's eye your spine long and tall and healthy. And as you're here and breathing, just watch your breath. Feel it traveling into your spine. And slowly let the eyes open. Release out of your twist. Let's bring both arms all the way up. Inhale. Twisting to the left. The right hand's going to find the left knee. The left hand comes behind, and the spine is long. So you want to find length in your spine. If you're on the floor and you're rounding through your back, so if you are on the floor and you're rounding through the back, you probably are going to need a block to give you the ability to get length through your spine. So some of us have the ability to keep the back long, and some of us might need a block to maintain that straight spine. So once you're in your twist, let that chest open to the left and try not to force the chin, try not to push it too far, but just twist, bringing your head with you. And then let your eyes close and just see in your mind's eye your spine long and tall and healthy as you move into your twist. Staying here, a few more breaths. Make sure you're breathing your Ujjayi breath. You want to hear the sound the breath is making through the back of your throat. And then allow the eyes to open if they're closed and slowly return back to center. We're going to scoot to the front of your mat. As you scoot to the front of your mat, you're going to roll yourself down. So it's important that we strengthen our abdominal muscles, because our abdominal muscles help in many of these poses that we're in, especially in our balancing poses. So let the feet stay about hip distance apart. Extend your arms forward. Pull your navel in and come into your pelvic tilt. So pulling the belly into the back of the spine. Bring your chin to the chest. Let the shoulders relax and roll yourself down. So keep the belly tight. Keep the pelvis tilted. Slowly roll down one vertebra at a time. So this is where we strengthen our abdominals, trying to not lose control as you place each vertebra down one at a time. Once your whole head and back comes down, bring your arms down, and then hug your knees into your chest and rock gently side to side. Just getting a nice massage through your back. Let's place the feet down onto the floor. Bring your right leg extended up to the ceiling and flex the foot. So as you're flexing your foot, pull the toes towards your face. Make sure your right hip is pushing away from the rib cage, so you don't want to twist that right hip in. You want to pull it more away from the rib cage and allow that right foot to go as straight as possible. So even if it means your leg is extended more forward rather than up, it's better to keep it straight than to bend at the leg. Then from here, just round up. See if you can bring your hands behind your right calf. If not, bring it right behind your right thigh. Then bring your head back down to the mat. So wherever your hands are, pull the right hip more forward. You're going to feel that right hamstring getting a deeper stretch. Keep the flex in the foot and just pull your leg in a little closer towards your chest. So depending on where your hands are, you're just going to pull in, and you're going to keep the leg as straight as possible. Make sure you're not pushing behind your knee. So if you're very flexible through the hamstrings, maybe you can actually even hold in yogi toe lock. But don't do it if your leg is bent. Work on finding, is my leg straight? That's what you want to achieve first. First, get the straight leg. Then you can work on the position of wherever your hands are. So you're feeling the stretch coming into that right hamstring. Soften the leg and just let that right ankle come right on top of your left side, just below the knee. Let the right hip open out to the side. So your left foot is on the floor. Draw your navel into the back of the spine. So coming into that pelvic tilt, you want to flatten your lower back. Lifting up off the mat, you're going to just lift your buttocks off the floor and just feel the stretch as it comes into that right hip. Pull the right knee down, but only to where you feel that you're comfortable stretching into that hip as you're breathing. Keep trying to lift those hips. One more breath here. Inhale, go up a little higher if you can. Exhale, slowly place your back down to the floor and release your right foot off of that left thigh. Pulling the navel into the back of the spine. Let's take our left leg up. Flex the foot. Keep the leg as straight as possible. And then keep pulling it in closer to your chest. As long as the leg stays straight, keep pulling in until you can't pull it any further. If you start to bend the knee, bring the leg forward a little more and work on getting the leg straight. Then lifting up if you need to, grabbing behind the calf. You're going to let the head come down. Pull the navel into the spine. You want to try to prevent the back from arching. Pull the left hip away from your rib cage so you're pushing that left hip forward. Then start to pull the left leg into your chest, feeling the stretch in that left hamstring. Keep pressing the back of your knee forward. So even if your leg is at an angle, just feel wherever that stretch is to pull in. You're going to feel it coming into the back of that left leg. So if you're very flexible, you might have to really pull the leg in even closer to just get a little bit of a stretch. But if your leg is extended forward, maybe you're feeling it just by keeping that leg there. But the leg stays straight. Maybe you can find yogi toe lock. And then release your hands, let the left ankle come on top of your right thigh, and let your left knee just open out to the front. Pull the navel into the spine to suck your belly in. You're going to bring your arms alongside you, pressing into your right foot. Allow the hips to lift. So you're going to feel that left hip opening. So if you have very tight hips, you may not really be able to lift your butt that high up. So just go to where you feel that stretch. Keep the belly pulled into the back of the spine. Just try to stay here. You can stay. Make sure that you're just feeling the stretch. You should not be feeling that you're in pain. If you feel that you're in pain, you don't want to hold. Lift it up a little higher if you can. Slowly roll yourself down one vertebra at a time. And then once your back comes down, release the left foot. And we're going to separate the legs as wide as the width of the mat. Pull the navel into the back of the spine so you want that lower back to flatten. Arms go out in T position. And as you inhale and on your exhale, rotate your knees over to the right. So keep the feet wide as your mat and just let your knees fall gently over to the right side. And then let your knees come up on your inhale and keeping the feet wide, exhale over, letting the knees fall open to the left. You're keeping the wide space between your feet because this is hitting more into the hip and the quadriceps area. And slowly come back up. Heel toe your feet together. And now we're going to take bridge pose, but we're going to make it flow. So with your feet flat on the mat, keeping the legs about hip distance apart. So don't let your knees close in. So make sure your toes are not turning to the corners of the mat. Make sure that they're facing forward. So if you're able to see them, just make sure they're forward. And once you're down on your mat, pull your navel into the back of the spine so there's a little pelvic tilt there. Let your arms rest alongside your body. Palms are facing down. Now, as you inhale, you're going to start to raise the lower back and hips off the floor while you simultaneously raise your arms and extend them all the way back behind you. Go up as high as you can. Once your hands touch, exhale, bring everything down nice and slow. Keep that belly drawn into the back of the spine. So you really want to suck your navel in. As you inhale now, everything lifts again. Go up as high as you can, stretching the arms back, getting the backs of your hands to touch. Exhaling, everything comes down, keeping the tilt in your pelvis so the belly pulls in. And do this a couple more times on your own. So as you're moving your whole body, just see if you can go up a little higher, if you can stretch a little further back. Try not to move your head around. You want to keep your head stable as you slowly lower everything down. And do this one more time. And once you get all the way back there, just hold. So we're going to hold it up. So you're holding and lifting the hips. Your arms are extended back. Keep pressing the feet into the mat. Try not to let the knees splay out to the side. So you want to keep those inner thighs pushing towards each other, but your legs are still about hip distance apart. Make sure you're still breathing. Take another inhale, lift up higher. Exhaling, everything slowly makes its way back down onto the mat. And once you're there, hug your knees into your chest. Slowly rock side to side. Nice little massage in your back. And then once you're here, let's take the hands onto the knees. We're going to take some circles, so keep the feet touching. Keep your heels and your ankles, your toes and your ankles touch, the big toes and the ankles touching. Separate your knees out wide, then straighten your arms, pushing your knees forward, but keep your belly in, so you try not to arch the back. And then close the knees together, and then pull them back in as you bend the elbows. Let the knees open out to the side. Straightening your arms, bringing the knees forward, and close the knees. So it's a circle. That's a little circle that you're drawing. Keep the belly in, so you're going to have to make sure that your lower back remains flat on the floor. Just feel those legs circling around, keeping the feet together. And then once your knees go forward and your arms are straight, we're going to reverse. So you're going to bend the elbows, pull the knees in towards your chest, your shoulders, close them in towards your chest, then send the knees forward, straightening the arms, and open the legs and pull it in. So reversing your circle, continuing to keep the abdominals pulled in so that you are supporting your back and not straining into your lower back. So this should not feel there any strain in the back. If you're feeling it, really engage your abdominals a little more, or if you're not really comfortable doing it, then you can stop. So finishing up one more time, bringing the knees back into the chest, and slowly place your feet down to the floor. Relax your arms alongside you, turn your palms towards the ceiling, and very slowly, one leg at a time, stretches forward to the front of your mat. Keeping your legs hip distance apart, let the hips open, let the legs open, let your feet flop open. Draw your arms a little way further away from your body. Squeeze your shoulder blades, let the chest lift, relax your shoulders. Close your eyes, letting go now. This is your time just to rest, to integrate the work that you've done in your practice today. So just being comfortable and content with what you were able to do, not allowing yourself to get discouraged with the things that you can't do, because then sometimes that's what we do, is we focus more on the things that we're unable to achieve and giving ourselves less gratitude and less praise for the things that we actually have accomplished. So really be content and be grateful for the things that you were able to do today. And even if you know that there's something that you were able to do in the past and wasn't able to do today, that's because that's where you are today. We can't always live our lives in the past or the future. So maybe we were able to do something before, but today it wasn't right for us. We have to recognize what is right and what it is that we need in this moment as we're moving in our practice. Let everything go, not holding on to any disappointments, not getting discouraged about what you might not have been able to achieve, but finding the gratitude in what you were able to accomplish today in your practice. Accepting that and putting a smile on your face for being able to do that today. And just let yourself go. your normal, natural breath flow in and out. Feeling the ease of the breath entering your body. And feel how it flows out. Not worrying about the next breath that you take, just letting it occur on its natural rhythm. But riding the breath. So we're having a little bit of faith and trust that the next breath is going to come. We can let ourselves go, finding a surrender into the breath. So we know that we'll be breathing. And it's a place where we can just fall into gently, comfortably, and feel content in this moment, each moment, as you breathe in and out. And just staying here for another few minutes as you rest in Shavasana. And just witnessing where you are, how you're feeling without moving your body. Just recognize the peacefulness, contentment that you feel, calm, present. And slowly begin to wiggle the fingers and the toes, allowing yourself to return back into your physical body. And as you slowly come back, take a nice deep breath in and stretch your arms, extending all the way over your head, exhaling out any thigh sounds or moans. And then gently bending your legs at the knees, pulling them into your chest as you hug and rock slowly from side to side. Just massaging out your back. And take your time to slowly roll over onto the right side of your mat, bringing your head into a comfortable position on your right arm. So make sure that you feel a little softness in your right arm for your head to rest like a pillow. Be with your stillness. Be with your peace. And once again, just accepting what your practice has given to you, being content with what you are able to do, knowing that the next time is another day, another practice. Maybe you'll feel stronger, or maybe not. It is what it is. With your left hand, press gently into the floor and guide yourself up to a seated position. And once you get there, allow the spine to be nice and straight. Bringing your hands to Anjali Mudra as your thumbs come to the center of your heart. And let's raise the thumbs up to the eyebrows as we ask our spirit to allow us to always see the truth. Bringing your thumbs to your lips as you ask your spirit to allow you to always speak the truth. And bringing your hands to the heart center, asking your spirit to allow you to always know and to feel the truth. And let us close with one long Om, taking a nice deep breath in. Om. Drawing your chin to the chest. Namaste. And thank you very much, everyone, for joining.